What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're gonna have a little more fun with Knull, the god of the symbiotes. Since this guy is just absolutely insane, I just went to the public. We got one team with Namor, She-Hulk, and Ghost Rider. Hell of a team right there, depending on how well that Namor is built. And then we have Captain America, Tier 3 Cyclops, that probably won't do that well since Cyclops isn't gonna have really any support. And here we go. And remember, when you're doing the rotation with Knull, with a proc, you just want to cancel the 5 into the 4, let the spawns come out, then put the proc on the second skill, let the second skill play out while the proc is engaged, and when you have 1 second left on the proc, go ahead and cancel in your 3-1 to get your cooldowns off on build up your charge on your tier 3. And this is going to be Knull. He has no support, guys. We're not using Valkyrie. We're not using Shuri. Nothing like that. No CTP of Insight. Nothing like that at all. This is all him with the CTP of Energy. And this is something that's really nice. You saw what just happened there? My passive kicked in because we were just going balls out, facing Galactus up close and personal, and he couldn't kill us because we can't die once we get to 1 HP, which is freaking amazing. You can play so aggressive with Knull. I love it so much. But in the next fight that we're going to do, you got to be a little bit careful. You got to be a little bit careful. All right, come on. And my partner here seems to know what's up, man. Old Cyclops there seems to know what's up. Ideally, what you're always trying to do with Knull is you want to get his tier 3, and when he slams his sword down, then go into the second skill. However, if the proc triggers while the tier 3 is engaged, you don't want to cancel the second skill because then you'll cancel your damage proc, which you don't want to do. And look at this damage, guys. This dude is freaking insane. Whoa. And my proc already engaged. So I didn't want to use my tier 3 at all, which didn't need to anyways because we moved Galactus to the next phase. I'm just waiting to see what he's going to do. Okay, you're dead, buddy. Start with the 4, going to the tier 3. Oh, yeah. And damn proc engaged while the tier 3 was going on. This is another reason why a Rage would be better, at least against Galactus and against the other world bosses, except for maybe Knull. I'm hearing a lot of word that the Pierce actually synergizes extremely well with a damage proc, especially chain hit damage. And evidently, the CTP of Energy works better with Pierce, which is why it works so good with Knull, but also because you can put all of his skills. You can get the residual damage from the 4, the tier 3, and the second skill all at once. That's another reason why proc works so well with this guy. His cooldowns are low enough you can keep the proc engaged when you need to engage it. I mean, you don't really miss procs a whole lot, to be perfectly honest with Knull. That's another reason why he's so proc friendly. We're just barreling through it. Now, it's not as fast as clears, maybe some of the clears I've done in the past. So he's definitely not, I really wonder if the Pierce is actually working against Galactus, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if it does or not, to be perfectly honest. Let me know in the comments if any of you actually know that. I don't know if it really does. The only way I would know is if I crafted cards, got some extra Pierce, and then tested the characters afterwards. Test them before I would craft the cards and then test them after when I would craft cards. Which I am considering. I am thinking about doing that, but I might make a separate video about that, talking about that as to why I would want to do it or why not I would want to do it. But boom, look at this, 86% of the damage, complete solo from this guy, absolutely murdered Galactus. Now let's take a look at the build, and then I'll show you guys a really crazy run. So as far as Knull, the build's exactly the same. We have almost 49,000 physical tag. We have max attack speed, 33 crit rate, which is going to get maxed out from his fifth skill, I believe. He has max critical damage, close enough. He has max ignore defense, max kill cooldown. And he does have mythic physical attack Uru, so I do have 55% physical attack on my cards. We don't need anything in these slots since all of our stats are pretty much about maxed out, and our crit rate's going to get maxed out from our fifth skill. You see here, the fifth skill actually gives you 45% crit rate. This lasts for 12 seconds on a 9-second cooldown. So you always have this up. You only need 30% crit rate to max out this guy's critical rate. And we talked about all these things. All the skills are at 6. And then he has a fully awakened Power of Angry Hawk set. And then he has the CTP of Energy with a 200% damage proc. Something I want to touch on really quick, though, is in his passive here, he gets the activation rate when HP is below 5%. he gets the guard break immunity, and then HP does not drop to 1 or below for 6 seconds, which means he can't die during this time frame. And then he gets a massive 75% of max HP after 6 seconds. This is on a cooldown time of 120 seconds. So you can actually trigger this twice in a 5-minute run. You know, this is 2 minutes a pop, so you can actually trigger this twice in a 5-minute run. So that's something to keep in mind when you're playing with Knull, especially against the Mad Titan, who is the boss that we're going to face. So let's jump into the action and let's rock and roll. So my world boss of the day is Knull. So I'm not going to try to clear Thanos, but I'm going to show you guys just how strong and insane this dude is. This is stage 70 Thanos. We are using Phyla for the 30% extra all attack to universal types, and of course Valkyrie for the 50% damage to supervillains. And look at this. I hit the 5, the 4, and the 2. We didn't even get the attack buff from the 5th skill because we didn't let it play out at all. When you're playing with a proc, you just want to get that invincibility. That way when you do the 2nd skill, it doesn't get interrupted. And he still took down the first little phase there of Thanos with one single rotation. And look at this. Now this is absolutely nutso. Now you have to be very careful because Knull does have a debuff in his passive, but whenever it's on cooldown and Thanos throws out them blue balls and you got your invincibility up, you can die. However, when you're in a tier 3, you're in an iframe, so then you don't have to worry about it. So whenever you just do like the 5-4-2, you can die. If that debuff is on cooldown, you can die. Especially in this highest stage, Thanos does insane damage at stage 70. Honestly, guys, this was much harder to do than actually fighting stage 9 Knull. Believe it or not, much harder because of that freaking debuff removal that Thanos has. I mean, even though Knull has debuff removal himself, when it's on cooldown, he can freaking croak. The passive can engage and it'll save you the first time, but the second time, when Thanos does it again, you can just get one shot. That's something to keep in mind when you're playing with this character. I mean, but he is still insane for this because most of the time your debuff will be up. The blue balls won't debuff you. You can always switch your character. He has a lot of HP. He has an insane amount of survivability. So it's really not that bad, but it definitely was harder than actually facing himself, which is pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Come on, here we go. Oh yeah, I mean, look at this guy destroy stage 70 Thanos. I have never, ever, not one character I play with can I do this. Not one character with no all defense down, nothing. Can I do this? I can't do this with anybody. Stage 70? Stage 70? With a CTP of energy? No, never, never. Not even with a CTP of rage have I ever been able to do this with any character. And yeah, it was more difficult than facing Knull himself, to be perfectly honest, but it still wasn't that hard. This took me about, I'd say 6 or 7 tries maybe. And we need to get out of there because those things will ignore iframe. The purple bars going across the screen, and he can lose a lot of life and even die if his passive is on cooldown. Ooh, we took a lot of shots there. We got down to that 1 HP, right? So we're gonna be on a 120-second cooldown before we can use that again. Oh yeah, here we go. Run around. And another thing is Knull's movement speed is so awesome. What a terrific character, man. Wow. I mean, I know he's expensive as hell, but boy, is he worth the investment. I mean, to do stage 70 Thanos, that is just nuts. And again, guys, I'm not trying to clear this. I'm just showing you that he can do this with relative ease. I mean, I know I said earlier it is more difficult than facing himself, at least this high a level of Thanos, but it's still with relative ease. There's been plenty of characters I've tried to do these high level clears with, and yeah, it would take me, hours. But it definitely wasn't like that with this guy. And we definitely wanted to switch because our passive is still on cooldown. And we would die. Watch out. Come on. Oh yeah. Feel my wrath, Thanos. You're nothing to me. I am a true god. You're just a wannabe. And, oh man. Missed my proc there. Whenever we did that second skill and he jumps down, if we could have won that tier 3, we would have done insane damage right there. That's a chance I took. That's alright though. We got plenty of time. So we're going to do one more round where we hit Thanos, and then we're just going to let Knull die. Because I don't want to clear this, guys. I still need to do my clears of the day, and I want to face Knull because that's where the good rewards are at. But this really is just a testament to how powerful this character is. And I went into tier 3. We're doing damage. We're going to die. Boom. And we died. And boom shakalaka. So we had, you know, about 40 seconds left. I could have cleared this if I really wanted to. All I had to do is switch my character, run around. We had plenty of time. Could have easily cleared this if I wanted to. And if this would have been a better run, we would have done this in 4 minutes. He could go even higher with a CTP of energy against the Mad Titan. How insane is that? How insane is that? And, you know, and because of power creep, I really wonder how strong tier 3 Cable is going to be. How strong Deadpool with his new uniform is going to be. How strong are they going to be? Because when you have characters like this, and I realize he's a native tier 3, he's super expensive, he's an in-game content character, I realize that. But when you have this kind of power creep, it really makes you wonder how strong they're going to make these upcoming popular characters that were already insanely strong to begin with. So let me know in the comments how you're all feeling about Knull and what I said about the power creep. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.